Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to your another whoa. Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to another video show. Welcome to another video. Fucking horrible intro, but hey, here we are. I'm so sorry. This is part 3 of our Seniora sangria review. I know it sounds like I'm drunk, but this is a virgin one. So the first time we had 6% batteries, I was like, okay, this is enough to make a taste test. So we didn't have time. So let's try to do it again. Sangria. I'm gonna restart from the get-go. So I'm probably gonna do the 2 first as bloopers, and this is gonna be the first one. I did have a little bit of taste to it, but I waited long enough for me to be like, okay, well, I don't recognize the taste. So sangria. Don't have a lot of story with them. Seniora, don't have a lot of history with them. Seniora, I know, is ma'am in Italian. Seniora. Señorita is in Spanish, and Seniora is in Italian. You got sangria, right? Which is super cool because this is a virgin sangria. My story with sangria, I know I said nothing, but it's kind of, I wouldn't go for sangria myself. I wouldn't go for it. However, I used to work in a coffee shop, and the coffee shop has a lot of ladies, and them ladies would love sangria, right? And at first I was like, okay, well, this is a pussy drink, pun intended. But then I was like, okay, well, this is pretty good. So sangria, from what I understand, is actually wine, or mostly red wine with fruit inside. So we'll be checking it out. Now, what I'm expecting is grape juice with fruits. And yeah, I was hoping to get the the sound, but I shaked it a bit too much. Okay. Now we're gonna be blowing it. So you're just pushing the foam into the liquid. To be completely honest, the only reason I bought this was because it was kind of cool. It was kind of nice. I thought it was a good concept. I thought, listen, who else will taste a virgin sangria? And the question is, who else makes a virgin sangria like that? So this is actually quite nice. I'm impressed that there's a product like this out there. I wouldn't have not thought about it. But the reality is, it works really well. It's only 1.5 liters, which doesn't seem like it. It seems like a lot less. The taste in itself, it's super nice because you kind of get the bitterness of the grapes, which is supposed to emulate the taste of wine. You do taste the wine a little bit, but it's not alcoholic. So, and it's weird because your brain knows what it's supposed to taste. Your brain is knowing, okay, well, this is a sangria. This is knowledgeable. This is knowledge that I have, right? So when you taste it, it's like, okay, well, I know this. So you taste the sangria, which is actually quite nice. Now let's have some fruits. Fruit, I'm thinking usually it's orange and grape. Okay, so there's no taste of fruit. There's no taste of specific fruit. There's taste of fruit. So it really represents the one and left fruit in there. So it's kind of got a fruity taste to it, without necessarily being fruit juice, right? So I would say, for example, when you take a I don't know. It's very unique. It's a very unique taste. Actually, quite nice. You can tell that they did a pretty good job at recreating the taste. If you didn't tell me, I would have this as a sangria. I'd add a little bit of vodka to it, so it's alcoholic. Because technically speaking, sangria is a alcoholic drink. There's nothing wrong with having a virgin. So here's my thoughts, right? If you're gonna have a virgin drink, have anything else than a freaking sangria. I'm not saying that sangria isn't good. I'm not saying that it's not something that I would like, but it's not my first choice when it comes to something to drink, right? I'm gonna have a soda before that. I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff before I go for version sangria. However, this is quite nice. This is quite nice. Now, ultimately speaking, this product to me, and I don't know if it's the intended use for it, but for me, I have these very pleasant memories as a kid. Right, it was the millennium. I was born in '93. In the year 2000, right? And this I remember because it was really something special for me. It's because it was the new millennium, we wanted to do something special. So my father got a bottle of champagne, right? And it's funny because he popped the bottle of champagne, and I remember hearing the bottle pop. And be like, okay, well, this is my first time, kind of special, right? And then he bought some apple, it was apple, I don't know if it was. I don't remember if it was apple soda or apple cider, but it was non-alcoholic. And when you shake it, you could pop it just like a champagne bottle. So you would say, "Hey, it's a bottle for me, and it's a bottle for you." So I felt like I was drinking the same thing as he did, but I was drinking apple juice, which was totally safe for kids. So I get the feeling that like Papa or Mama is drinking sangria, kids is drinking sangria. One of them is alcoholics. One of them isn't alcoholic. To me, even then, there's a ton of example like that. You can take the parents that are drinking coffee and the kids who's having a chocolate bar called Coffee Crisps. You're still getting that coffee flavor. You're still getting that coffee goodness. But in the same way, you're not really getting that coffee goodness because it's not real coffee. You just tasting the coffee. So with this one, you're not really getting the intent of sangria. For me, sangria is. So I'm gonna be an asshole. Okay, you'll have to forgive me. But a sangria is the perfect way of, okay. Oh, dude, I wasn't gonna tell the story, but it's actually a pretty funny story, because I'm afraid that you guys are gonna think that I'm playing the victim card, but I'm not. So we used to work in a coffee shop, right? And we were broke, and we were making minimum salaries, but there was a lot of us, so we did make proper salary. So most of us were part-time, right? Now, why would he do that? Well, because when it's time to ask for a raise, it's harder, right? It's a lot harder. There was no insurance. It was a student job. So yeah, it's better to have a lot of employees because they cannot ask for a raise because they haven't worked enough hours. And then when you ask for a raise, they say, how many hours did you work last week? Well, 20. Well, you're not permanent, so I cannot give you a raise, right? So what we did is, one of us brought a bottle of wine. One of them, I think I was the one that brought the bottle of wine because my father had cheap wine. And then one of them brought a orange juice. One of them brought an apple juice. One of them brought a cranberry juice. And I remember spending the whole night. And it was one of those bottles, and it was really cheap wine. I think it was like a 2.5 liters, 3 liters of wine, and we just had it and just had juice, and we were pretty drunk at the end. And it was fun because it was like, okay, well, this is a way to get drunk fast, or like a switch, or like a homemade alcohol. So something very strong doesn't taste the best, but it gets you drunk. So sangria to me is a way of getting some cheap wine and making it taste good. It is supposed to raise the bitterness of the wine. However, you see, sangria is also super cool. You know what? This is actually a really good product. And I'm thinking about it. It's actually a really, really, really good product. There's a ton of ways that this could be cool. Going to a party, you have this for a designated driver. It's really nice. The flavor is nice. The flavor is actually pretty cool. Once again, not my favorite soda. I wouldn't buy this. I don't really like alcohol. I wouldn't buy this on a daily. I wouldn't buy this on a weekly. But it's actually really cool, and the concept itself is actually really nice because you have you have something that's virgin, right? Like, and as stupid as it is, there's a ton of drink. I saw the video saying if you're gonna have something that is virgin, have a soda. But then is that true? Because you have a Bloody Mary, and a Bloody Mary that's virgin, that's actually really, really good. You have a well, so far that's the only thing that I can think about. But yeah, there's possibly a bunch of other alcohol drinks that are really good without alcohol. So super cool, kind of cool product, kind of a novelty. So this is a product from Italy. Is it super popular in Italy? I don't know, but I know that this is the first time I'm seeing this. It's distributed by tip distributor El Paso, Texas. People makes it in El Paso, Texas. I don't know why El Paso makes me think about Albuquerque, Breaking Bad. So yeah, so this is it. This is a really good drink. That's pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.